Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and today we are going to be talking about the perception that Ni No Kuni is a dying game. We're going to be talking about these loud voices in the community that are saying the game isn't doing good, that it's, stagnating. So let's go ahead, we'll address this, and let's dig in. So before I get too far into this discussion, I do just want to talk about some of the statistics from my channel. And the reason I want to talk about the statistics from my channel is because I think it paints a really good perspective on who is playing the game. So when you're looking at my channel, almost 50% of my viewer base is Filipino and Indonesian. Now, we have maybe less than 15% that are American, we have 3% that are from Brazil, and we have a mixture of European countries coming in at maybe about 6% viewership. Now, the reason that I bring this up is because Ni No Kuni is a regionalized game. That means we have different data centers for different regions. Specifically, we have North American data center, we have South American data center, we have Southeast Asia data center. We also have separately Japan, Korea, and China. And then we also have the Taiwanese server as well. So there is a lot of different places to gather information, and there's a lot of echo chambers as well. And what's true for one data center may not necessarily be true across all of them. And I think that's where these mixed signals are coming from. And I think this is one of those situations as well that connects back to the initial launch of the game, the crypto hysteria, and the overall wider perception of Ni No Kuni. So what am I talking about here? So when I'm looking at my statistics and we're talking about the game's popularity, we're hearing a lot of people say the game is dying. And the reality is, I think the reason a lot of people are hearing that is because a lot of that is coming from the North American data centers, it's coming from the EU data centers. Whereas when you listen to Southeast Asia, when you listen to South America, those servers are absolutely booming. They are absolutely growing. They're crazy. They're crowded. And the game is doing incredibly well. You look at the most recent Sensor Tower data that came out, there's a huge article about it. And you can see that Ni No Kuni, in the span of 10 days, made over $101 million USD. It was absolutely crazy. The game's absolutely been profitable. And it's one of those things where, if you had listened to the North Americans at all throughout this whole duration, you would think there's no way this game can be this popular, it can be this profitable. And it's because with our own servers, with our regionalized servers, there's an echo chamber, right? And you can't get out of your echo chamber because you can't interact with the other data centers. There's not really a centralized Reddit. There is a centralized Discord, but you kind of are in a situation where you're going to hear the loudest voices in those areas, and usually the communal language is English in those areas, and usually that means you're going to hear a lot of the North American perspective, as well as European perspective. And North Americans, I mean, the game has pretty much been doomed on launch for North America with all the crypto hysteria, with the NFT scandals, with all the misinformation that's been going on with the game. I mean, you had top level content creators that get millions of views saying that this game was predatory and that it preyed on people in Southeast Asia, etc., etc., that it was going to target children, all of this stuff, right? So for the North American market, you had a lot of people saying things they didn't understand, they didn't comprehend, they didn't play the game. There's a whole lot of this hysteria that has kind of fueled this North American kind of, I would almost say, detachment from the game. And I think, there's no way for me to make those big content creators answer to their words. There's no way for me to change the past, but I think the damage has been done to the game for the North American side. So I think a lot of people that are saying the game is dying, if you're on a North American data center, that is true. There's a lot of people on the North American side that are not playing the game, that are quitting the game because of kind of the situation that the game is in. There's also the other perspective, though. If you go to Southeast Asia, where the game is going crazy, it's booming in popularity, it's just huge, right? So the question we have is the game dying? I don't think the game's dying. I think, candidly, they'll server merge. The game's going to go on for a long time on North America. It'll be here to stay because Southeast Asia is going to continue playing the game. They're going to continue to support the game, and they're going to basically pay for the game's development. North America, we are pretty much going to tag along for that ride. We'll probably see server merges soon, since that did happen on the Korean, Taiwanese, Japanese version of the game. We'll probably see that. It'll probably breathe new life into the game, and I'm sure we'll see a resurgence of players as we continue to go on. I think as it stands right now, with a lot of the changes to the global version of the game, it's actually designed so that it can be played with less players, and I think that may actually be a good thing. Now, all this being said, shout out to my Pinoy viewers in Southeast Asia for leading the charge and for absolutely loving this game, because this game's freaking incredible and I love it. So shout out to you guys for supporting the global version of the game. Shout out to Taiwan, China, and Japan for also supporting this version of the game, because we are lucky enough to get to play it. And I hope there will be server merges soon for the American servers, so that these kind of loud voices in the community will stop saying that it's a dead game, because it's driving me crazy. And hopefully they'll all migrate over to Tower of Fantasy when Tower of Fantasy comes out, and then they can wait 5 weeks and then say it's a dead game there as well. So thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day.